In an unprecedented move that has sent shockwaves through the international community, Chile's President Gabriel Boric has unleashed a bombshell accusation at the United Nations, claiming that Argentina is stealing Patagonia. This bold declaration has ignited a firestorm of controversy, leaving diplomats and global leaders scrambling to understand the gravity of the situation. Boric's explosive statement has not only put Chile and Argentina on a collision course but has also thrust the entire region into a state of heightened tension. The world watched in disbelief as Boric, with unwavering conviction, laid bare his allegations on the grand stage of the UN. His words, sharp and unyielding, painted a picture of territorial greed and betrayal, accusing Argentina of orchestrating a clandestine operation to annex the vast and resource-rich lands of Patagonia. The sheer audacity of such a claim has left many questioning whether this is the beginning of a diplomatic disaster that could reshape the geopolitical landscape of South America. As the dust begins to settle from Boric's incendiary speech, the corridors of power buzz with speculation and intrigue. Behind closed doors, whispers of a secret plot to redraw borders have emerged, fueling conspiracy theories that suggest a covert agenda at play. Who are the shadowy figures pulling the strings in this high-stakes game of territorial chess? The world demands answers, and the stakes have never been higher. In the wake of Boric's allegations, a trove of leaked documents has surfaced, threatening to blow the lid off this burgeoning scandal. These classified files, purportedly revealing Argentina's maneuvers in Patagonia, could serve as the smoking gun that validates Boric's claims. The explosive nature of this evidence has left the international community on edge, as the potential ramifications of such revelations could be catastrophic. Argentina, with its own tumultuous history of territorial ambitions, now finds itself under the microscope. The specter of its past looms large, casting doubt on its intentions and raising questions about whether Patagonia is merely the latest target in a long line of territorial pursuits. As the world watches with bated breath, the unfolding drama promises to be nothing short of a geopolitical thriller. Boric's fiery rhetoric has set the stage for a confrontation of epic proportions. Is he a hero standing up against perceived injustice, or a madman pushing the region towards chaos? The answer remains elusive, but one thing is certain: the world is watching, and the stakes could not be higher. And an unexpected turn of events that has left the world speechless, Chilean President Gabriel Boric has launched an accusation that resonates like thunder in the United Nations General Assembly. With an audacity that few leaders would dare to display on such a global stage, Boric has accused Argentina of stealing Patagonia, a statement that threatens to trigger a diplomatic crisis of epic proportions. But what really lies behind these incendiary words? In the dark corridors of power, there are whispers of a secret plot to redraw South America's borders. Conspiracy theories that once seemed far-fetched are now coming to life, suggesting that hidden forces are pulling the strings to annex the vast and rich region of Patagonia. Who are the puppet masters in this sinister plot? Is Boric a visionary who has uncovered an inconvenient truth, or simply a pawn in a much larger game? Speculation is rife as world leaders try to decipher the true intentions behind this bold move. Tension is palpable in the air, and the international community watches with a mix of shock and concern. The possibility of open conflict between two sister nations seems more real than ever, and the consequences could be devastating not only for Chile and Argentina, but for the entire region. Meanwhile, in the shadows, rumors about leaked documents that could contain explosive evidence of Argentine maneuvers in Patagonia begin to circulate. These classified files, which Boric allegedly did not want to see the light of day, could be the key piece in this geopolitical puzzle. Are we witnessing the discovery of a double-edged sword that could change the course of history? The situation is critical, and the world is waiting with bated breath for the outcome of this saga that promises to be one of the most shocking scandals of our time. The question on everyone's mind is, will this be the beginning of the end for relations between Chile and Argentina, or simply the prelude to a new chapter in a story of territorial ambitions and political betrayals? In an unexpected twist that has left the world speechless, leaked documents have come to light, revealing Argentine maneuvers in the coveted region of Patagonia. These classified files, which Chilean President Gabriel Boric would have preferred to keep in the shadows, expose a series of strategic moves that suggest Argentina's intention to expand its territory at Chile's expense. The revelation of these documents has lit a fuse that threatens to unleash a diplomatic conflict of epic proportions. The documents, which have been obtained by anonymous sources, detail secret meetings and action plans that, if true, could be irrefutable proof of a conspiracy to redraw borders in the south of the continent. The international community is watching with amazement and concern as tensions between Chile and Argentina reach a fever pitch. Is this the smoking gun Boric needed to justify his accusations at the UN? The gravity of these revelations cannot be underestimated. The document suggests that Argentina has been involved in a series of covert activities, from mobilizing troops to manipulating official maps, all with the aim of claiming Patagonia as its own. This scandal has shaken the foundations of South American diplomacy and has put both countries on the brink of an unprecedented crisis. As the world awaits an official response from Argentina, speculation and conspiracy theories are rife. Who is really behind this audacious plan? Is it possible that there are more actors involved in this plot that threatens to change the map of South America forever? The pressure on the leaders of both countries is immense, and the international community is demanding clear and forceful answers. Amidst this whirlwind of accusations and revelations, the stability of the region hangs in the balance. The question on everyone's mind is, what happens now? With each new detail that emerges, the situation becomes more volatile and dangerous. The story is far from over, and the world is watching closely every move in this power game that could have devastating consequences for the entire region. Argentina's dark past is a tale of relentless ambition and territorial greed that stretches back through the annals of history. This is not just a story of borders and maps. It's a saga of power, control, and an insatiable hunger for land. The audacity of Argentina's territorial claims has left a trail of controversy and conflict, with Patagonia now emerging as the latest flashpoint in this ongoing saga. Since the early days of its nationhood, Argentina has been embroiled in disputes over land, often casting a covetous eye on its neighbors' territories. The infamous Beagle Channel conflict with Chile in the late 20th century is a stark reminder of Argentina's aggressive posturing. This was a time when the world watched in disbelief as two nations teetered on the brink of war over a few desolate islands. The echoes of that confrontation still resonate today, fueling suspicions and stoking fears of a repeat performance. But the roots of Argentina's territorial ambitions dig even deeper. The 19th century saw the brutal conquest of indigenous lands and the so-called conquest of the desert, a campaign that expanded Argentina's borders at a devastating human cost. This dark chapter in history is a testament to the lengths Argentina has been willing to go to satisfy its territorial cravings. Now, with President Boric's explosive accusations of the UN, the specter of Argentina's past looms large once more. Is Patagonia merely the latest target in a long line of territorial conquests? The evidence, some say, is damning. Leaked documents and secret meetings hint at a clandestine agenda, a plot to redraw borders and assert control over this vast, resource-rich region. The stakes could not be higher. Patagonia is not just a remote wilderness. It's a land of untapped potential, a treasure trove of natural resources that could tip the balance of power in South America. For Argentina, securing Patagonia would be a coup of monumental proportions, a chance to rewrite history and cement its dominance in the region. As the world watches this drama unfold, the question remains: will Argentina's dark past be its undoing, or will it succeed in its audacious bid for Patagonia? The answer could reshape the geopolitical landscape of South America, with consequences that will reverberate far beyond the borders of these two nations. The time for action is now, as the world holds its breath and waits for the next explosive chapter in this unfolding saga. Gabriel Boric, the president of Chile, has dropped a bombshell on the world stage with a speech that has left everyone speechless. In an incendiary intervention before the United Nations General Assembly, Boric accused Argentina of blatantly stealing the region of Patagonia. His words thundered through the room, leaving diplomats stunned and world leaders in a state of utter shock. Is this a declaration of war or a desperate cry for help? Boric's speech was not simply an accusation, it was a frontal attack, a direct challenge to Argentine sovereignty. In language charged with emotion and determination, Boric painted a picture of betrayal and greed, suggesting that Argentina has been secretly plotting to annex territories that historically belonged to Chile. The room was filled with murmurs and looks of disbelief as Boric continued his harangue, showing no signs of backing down. Boric's words not only ignited a diplomatic conflict, but also left many wondering about his mental state. Is Boric a hero who bravely defends his nation's interests, or a desperate leader who has lost touch with reality? The line between bravery and recklessness has never been so thin. As the world watches in amazement, the question on everyone's mind is clear. What's next? Are we on the brink of an international conflict that could change the map of South America forever? The tension is palpable, and the repercussions of this speech could be catastrophic. The international community is on high alert, anxiously awaiting the next move in this geopolitical chess game that could have devastating consequences for the region. The international community is in a state of unprecedented shock following Chilean President Gabriel Boric's explosive remarks at the United Nations General Assembly. In a move that has left diplomats and world leaders alike speechless, Boric accused Argentina of stealing Patagonia, a region rich in natural resources and of great geopolitical importance. The accusation has unleashed a diplomatic storm that threatens to destabilize the region and put bilateral relations between the two countries in jeopardy. The global response has not been long in coming. Leaders from around the world have reacted with a mix of outrage and support, further polarizing the situation. While some countries have expressed their support for Chile, condemning what they consider a territorial aggression by Argentina, others have come to the defense of Buenos Aires, calling Boric's statements irresponsible and dangerous. In Europe, reactions have been mixed. Some governments have expressed concern about the escalation of tensions in South America, urging both nations to resolve their differences through dialogue and diplomacy. However, others have taken the opportunity to criticize Boric's stance, accusing him of seeking to divert attention from Chile's internal problems through inflammatory rhetoric. In Latin America, the situation is even more complex. Neighboring countries such as Brazil and Uruguay have called for calm, offering their good offices to mediate in the conflict. However, the shadow of a possible international intervention is beginning to loom over the region, with foreign powers closely watching developments and assessing their own strategic interests in the area. The international community now faces a dilemma: support Boric in his crusade to defend Chilean sovereignty or condemn his actions as an unnecessary provocation that could trigger a larger conflict. Meanwhile, the world anxiously awaits the next moves by both countries, aware that the fate of Patagonia could mark a turning point in South American history. Patagonia, a region of untamed beauty and vast natural resources, now finds itself in the eye of the storm. The recent indictment of Chilean President Gabriel Boric has unleashed an unprecedented political storm, leaving the inhabitants of this land in a state of uncertainty and fear. While world leaders engage in a diplomatic duel, the real victims are the citizens of Patagonia, caught in a power game that threatens to destabilize their way of life. The region, known for its majestic landscapes and unique biodiversity, has become the epicenter of a territorial dispute that could change the map of South America. Rumors of a possible annexation have spread panic among local communities, who fear for their future and cultural identity. Tension is palpable in the air, and the fear of armed conflict is not mere speculation, but a terrifying possibility looming over them. The inhabitants of Patagonia, accustomed to a quiet life in harmony with nature, now face the threat of being pawns in a ruthless geopolitical game. Families wonder if their homes will be safe, if their lands will be taken away, and if their voices will be heard amid the din of accusations and defenses. The uncertainty is palpable, and the feeling of abandonment by their governments is growing deeper. Meanwhile, the leaders of Chile and Argentina continue their standoff on the international stage, each defending their position tooth and nail. But who is really thinking about the welfare of the Patagonians? The answer seems to be no one, as the region becomes a mere trophy in a battle of egos and political ambitions. The situation is critical, and time is running out. The international community watches with concern, but words of condemnation or support are not enough to calm the fear of those living in the line of fire. Patagonia is in danger, and the world must act before it is too late. History is being written at this very moment, and the outcome is uncertain. Will this be the beginning of the end for a region that has stood the test of time, or will it find a way to survive this political storm? The hall of the United Nations General Assembly became a verbal battleground as Argentina launched its fierce counterattack. The Argentine delegation, led by its foreign minister, wasted no time in dismantling Gabriel Boric's incendiary accusations. With a mix of indignation and defiance, the Argentine representative called the Chilean president's statements unfounded and dangerous, a blatant attempt to divert attention from Chile's internal problems. The tension in the air was palpable as the Argentine minister displayed a series of historical documents and maps, claiming that they demonstrated Argentina's undisputed sovereignty over Patagonia. "We will not allow our honor to be tarnished or history to be distorted," he proclaimed in a firm voice, as murmurs from the delegates echoed around the room. The speech was a direct blow to the Chilean narrative, and left no room for doubt. Argentina not only rejected the accusations, but also demanded a public apology. The Chilean delegation, visibly uncomfortable, remained silent while the world watched attentively. The international press, eager for sensational headlines, was quick to amplify the echo of this diplomatic confrontation. The Argentine response was not only an act of defense, but a declaration of war in the diplomatic arena. The international community was now at a crossroads, forced to take sides in a conflict that threatened to destabilize the region. The Argentine minister's words resonated as a call for national unity, a reminder that sovereignty is not negotiated or discussed in international forums. Meanwhile, on the streets of Buenos Aires and Santiago, demonstrations of support and rejection multiplied, reflecting the polarization of two nations caught in a dispute that seemed to have no end. The question on everyone's mind was clear. How far were these two countries willing to go to defend their version of the truth? The answer, still uncertain, kept the world in suspense. The international press is on fire, and with good reason. The recent statement by Chilean President Gabriel Boric at the UN has unleashed an unprecedented media whirlwind. The headlines do not stop shouting, "Argentina is stealing Patagonia." This accusation has been the trigger for media coverage that knows no limits, fueling a conflict that threatens to spiral out of control. The media, in their eagerness to capture the public's attention, have turned this dispute into a spectacle of epic proportions. Every news channel, every newspaper, every digital platform has launched into the hunt for the most scandalous scoop, regardless of the consequences. Images of demonstrations, incendiary speeches, and secret diplomatic meetings are repeated over and over again, amplifying the echo of a crisis that could change the map of South America forever. Journalists, with their microphones and cameras, have become protagonists in this story, fanning the flames of a conflict that is already burning brightly. Words are chosen with surgical precision to provoke, to incite, to keep the audience on the edge of their seats. Is this information or manipulation? The line has become dangerously blurred. In this whirlwind of news, truth seems to be the first victim. Conspiracy theories are multiplying, and accusations between Chile and Argentina are becoming the order of the day. The media, far from calming the waters, seem intent on taking the tension to the limit, as if it were a gladiatorial show. The question on everyone's mind is, how far will this media frenzy go? Will the leaders of both countries be able to find a peaceful way out, or will they remain puppets in a media circus that shows no signs of stopping? The answer, for now, remains a mystery, as the world watches in awe and concern. The bomb exploded in the heart of South America, and the shock waves threatened to destabilize the entire region. The accusation launched by Chilean President Gabriel Boric at the United Nations General Assembly has left the world speechless. With unprecedented audacity, Boric has accused Argentina of stealing Patagonia, a statement that has set off alarm bells in every corner of the planet. Tension is palpable, and the economic repercussions of this scandal could be devastating. The impact of these accusations is not limited to the political sphere. The economic fabric of South America is at stake. Trade relations between Chile and Argentina, two of the continent's most important economies, are hanging by a thread. Financial markets have begun to falter, and investors are watching with concern how this dispute could trigger an economic crisis of epic proportions. Exports and imports between the two countries could suffer a fatal blow, affecting not only large corporations but also small businesses and workers who depend on this exchange. Uncertainty looms over key industries, from mining to tourism, and fears of economic collapse are spreading like wildfire. Meanwhile, world leaders are watching with growing unease. The possibility of economic sanctions and international isolation looms over Argentina, while Chile faces pressure to maintain its stance without triggering an even bigger conflict. The international community is at a crossroads, debating whether to intervene to prevent an economic disaster that could drag the entire region into recession. On the streets of Santiago and Buenos Aires, the popular clamor is deafening. Citizens are demanding answers and solutions, fearing for their economic future. Protests are multiplying, and discontent threatens to spill over into a wave of social instability. The pressure on the governments of both countries is immense, and time is running out to find a way out of this crisis that threatens to devour South America. The question on everyone's mind is, who will pay the price for this scandal? The economic consequences could be catastrophic, and the world is watching with bated breath for the outcome of this story that has captured global attention. The shadow of uncertainty looms over the continent, and the clock continues to tick towards an uncertain future. The streets of Santiago and Buenos Aires are on fire, not because of the fire, but because of the fury of its citizens. Outrage has reached a boiling point that threatens to spill over into uncontrollable chaos. In Chile, the squares are filled with protesters demanding clear and forceful answers from President Boric. No more secrets, they shout, while waving flags and banners calling for the truth behind the explosive accusations launched at the UN. People are tired of half-truths and of being pawns in a political game that seems to have no end. On the other side of the Andes, in Argentina, the situation is no less tense. The streets of Buenos Aires echo with the echo of thousands of voices refusing to accept accusations without irrefutable evidence. Patagonia is ours, they chant, while demanding that their government defend national sovereignty tooth and nail. The population is up in arms, not only against Boric's accusations, but also against any attempt at political manipulation that could put the country's territorial integrity at risk. The pressure on the leaders of both nations is immense. Citizens, fed up with uncertainty and fear, are demanding transparency and concrete action. Social media is ablaze with conspiracy theories and calls for action, while the media never ceases to fuel the frenzy with ever more alarming headlines. The tension is palpable, and the world watches with concern as two sister nations appear to be on the brink of a conflict with no return. In this climate of widespread discontent, the question on everyone's mind is, will the voices of the people be heard? Or will they continue to be ignored in the power game that is taking place in the corridors of power? The answer to these questions could determine not only the future of Patagonia, but also the fate of an entire region that hangs in the balance. In an unexpected twist that has left the world speechless, Chilean President Gabriel Boric launched an explosive accusation at the United Nations General Assembly. With an audacity that few leaders would dare to display on such a global stage, Boric claimed that Argentina is stealing Patagonia, a statement that has set off diplomatic alarm bells and put the region at the center of an unprecedented political storm. As echoes of his speech still reverberated through the halls of the UN, the international community was torn between shock and disbelief. Could it be true that Argentina, with a history of territorial ambitions, is carrying out covert maneuvers to annex one of South America's most iconic regions? Rumors of a secret plot to redraw borders have begun to circulate with force, fueling conspiracy theories suggesting that there are hidden forces pulling the strings behind this scandal. Leaked documents, which Boric apparently did not want to come to light, have begun to emerge, suggesting that the accusations are not just empty words. These classified files reveal alleged Argentine maneuvers in Patagonia, presenting what some consider irrefutable proof of a sinister plan. Argentina's history with regard to its territorial ambitions is not new, and many wonder if Patagonia is simply the latest target in a long list of expansionist wishes. Argentina's response was not long in coming. With a fury that shook the foundations of the UN, the Argentine government vehemently rejected the accusations, calling them baseless slander. However, the shadow of doubt had already been cast, and the world was attentively watching every move in this game of geopolitical chess. Amidst this chaos, the UN finds itself at a crossroads, desperately trying to mediate a situation that threatens to escalate into a crisis of epic proportions. Closed-door meetings are ongoing, but the question on everyone's mind is whether these actions will be enough to prevent a complete diplomatic collapse. Is it too late to stop the escalation of tensions? Or is there still hope that reason will prevail? The situation is critical, and the world awaits with bated breath the outcome of this international drama that could redefine the map of South America. Patagonia, a land of untamed beauty and invaluable resources, is in the eye of the storm, and its fate hangs in the balance. The tension in the air is palpable. The entire world watches in disbelief as Chilean President Gabriel Boric launches an accusation that resonates like thunder in the United Nations General Assembly. In an unexpected twist, Boric accuses Argentina of stealing Patagonia, a statement that threatens to unleash a diplomatic conflict of epic proportions. The room falls silent. World leaders exchange looks of astonishment and concern. Is this the beginning of an unprecedented international crisis? As Boric's words still resonate, a storm of conspiracy theories is brewing. Behind closed doors, whispers are swirling about a secret plan to redraw borders. Who is really pulling the strings of this geopolitical intrigue? Rumors are spreading like wildfire, fueling uncertainty and fear. Leaked documents are beginning to circulate, revealing Argentine maneuvers in the region. Is this the irrefutable proof that Boric did not want the world to see? Argentina's history is tainted by territorial ambitions, and now, the spotlight is on Patagonia. Is this the latest target on his list of conquests? Boric's incendiary rhetoric leaves diplomats reeling. Is he a hero defending his nation or a desperate leader on the verge of madness? Reactions are swift. Global leaders line up, some condemning and others supporting Boric's bold move. Who is on Chile's side and who is backing Argentina? Amidst this chaos, the Patagonia region is in danger. The implications for its inhabitants are terrifying. Caught in the crossfire of this geopolitical dispute, Argentina is not far behind and responds with fury to Boric's accusations. Are they guilty or victims of baseless slander? The press, with its sensationalist approach, fans the flames of conflict. Are they informing or inciting? The economic consequences of this scandal could be devastating for South America. Who has the most to lose in this power game? Meanwhile, the streets of Chile and Argentina are filled with citizens demanding answers. Will their voices be heard? The UN, in a desperate attempt to mediate, is seeking to prevent a full-blown crisis. Is it too late to restore peace? Finally, as the dust begins to settle, the question that remains is, what will be the fate of Patagonia? Is this the end of the scandal, or is it just the prelude to a new chapter in this explosive saga? Uncertainty persists, and the world waits with bated breath.